Welcome back to the Stoop football fans. It's your boy Lolo. I'm back in the basement here. Sorry that we were running late. Trains in Manhattan were causing a bit of a hellstorm in my household, but we are here. We're starting bang on our second time pick. So thank you guys for hanging out in the comments section. Bono, I see. Who do we got in there? Bono, Bremer's Ghost. Everybody, very good to see y'all. Happy new Premier League weekend coming up. We got a lot to talk about on today's show. It's going to be a lot of fun. What are these guys talking about? Sorry, I'm just going through some of your chats right here. John Lofgarside, good to see you. Scooby D2. Everybody, ping cushion with pink cards. Let's get into it. First of all, let me pour myself a cocktail. Happy. Oh, got the hiccups already. I haven't even started drinking. Happy Friday, everybody. Drinking some Davidson Reserve Tennessee Straight Sour Mash Whiskey right there. There you go. All right. Good to see everybody. Happy Friday. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my lovely co-host who's been waiting for me for God knows how long. So let's get to it and pretend like we're already half an hour into the show. Boom! There you are.
What is going on, Lolo? Hello, everybody.
Nothing.
Good to see.
Let me turn down the sun behind me.
We didn't get a chance to do a little pre-production for the show. I wanted to let you know about that very hot light. But again, everyone, thanks for joining us. Thanks for your patience. It's been a fun week. Lots to anticipate. Lots to ruminate on. And wow, if Chelsea could only play that way all the time, which they can't, but they sure did put it to Aston Villa, a bet I got horribly wrong.
Oh man, I missed all of those bets, man. I had Chelsea winning, scoring first, all of that, but it just not.
Correct score will burn you every day
Aston Villa
of
was
the
going to
week.
show up.
I did
right,
too.
It is already Saturday
I did
for them.
too, but wow. Wow. Yeah. They were impressive. Especially after a very, very poor showing against these guys right here.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mark, but we know this, right? We know that Chelsea is in there. That's why every single week I'm shocked when they play so terribly. And against you guys, they came out in the first 10, 20 minutes and they looked really good and they looked sharp. And I was like, uh-oh. But you guys decided, no, we're going to play 70 minutes of football today instead of 15.
It seems to be, the storyline or the theme for Wolves, or as I used to be fond of saying, the Wolves, is that.
Hold on, are you done saying the Wolves?
I think I might, but every once in a while, I might. I think it might be sitting in the greatest hits bin right next to the Adele story.
Oh, wow.
But here it seems to be this, but they are doing it pretty well, is that they take what you throw at them in the first half and they try and keep it close. Whether that's conceding or keeping them scoreless, they see what's coming at them. They make the adjustments at halftime, and then they fucking light it up. It seems to be a theme for me. I'd actually like to look at stats to see if that's actually something I can back up. I'm not really sure. The fact is that we are scoring goals. We've already scored more goals than we did last season, which was not hard. Obviously, because we did it in a half a season, but our leading scorer, our striker in Hee-chan has been over in the Asian Cup, and we've still managed to score I want to say it's like 9 goals in his absence.
A bunch of goals, yeah. Well, I mean, you scored 3 against Man United, and you scored 4 against Chelsea, so that's 7 in 2 matches. But Mark, all the plaudits go to Wolverhampton. Absolutely, you guys are actually playing some very watchable, very fun football to watch. And if I was a Wolves fan, I'd be like a little confused, like you are. You kept saying, I think we were hanging out, yeah, after the Chelsea and then after the Arsenal Liverpool, and you were just like, I've never had something to be happy about before with Wolves. I don't know how to deal with myself.
It's kind of true, you know. I mean, last year was kind of we fired a manager last year. We fired a manager 18 months before that. We have gotten rid of all the players that I have learned to love and replaced them with no one. That's the crazy thing about this season. We shed Ruben Neves. We shed Podence. Eventually, Fabio Silva, the Russian, or not the Russian guy, but the really big dude that played very little for us. I can't think of his name, but we sent him off. Johnny, you know, who's been like the heart and soul for the team for so long, you know, he just didn't want to be there anymore, so we got rid of him. Den Darker last year, just player after player after player that were kind of like these mainstays of the Wolves starting lineup for so long. They are all gone. Everybody that is playing with us, with the exception of Max Kilman, hasn't been there a year. I mean, Craig Dawson was a January signing for us, I believe, last year.
Yeah,
you know,
West Ham. Right?
Yeah, didn't want him, but wow, has he worked out?
Chris, you keep your hands off of Pedro Neto. He's an Arsenal fan, an Arsenal player until. Wait, he's a Wolves player until he's an Arsenal player.
I think you're gonna pay a lot of money for Neto because
he'd be worth it. He'd be worth it.
He's shown that he's worth it.
Yeah, he's a beast.
And, I've said it a couple of weeks in a row here, but I'll say it again because I am so fond of repeating myself. I hope that Gary O'Neill can somehow convince him to stay at least through his contract, which I think is only 2 more years.
Get Europe
if it goes terribly wrong, but I don't think we get Europe this year, but I think we could with just a couple of tweaks. I think we could compete next year. We need to get a little deeper in spots. I would hate it if we qualify for Europe this year, which we won't. But if we did, we would be so thin. It would be disastrous on both sides, both in Europe and in the Premier League.
Yeah. Well, speaking of disastrous on both sides, let's get back to Chelsea. Just because I want to give them their little bit of praise for the way they went after Aston Villa. And it was a combination of Chelsea were on it and Villa looked poor. Correlation, causation, we're not sure there. But Chelsea are a team that we know they have the players. There's talent there. There's talent in the manager. It's just been this crazy not being able to put it all together. But as we've seen against Arsenal, they came out playing and they were connecting and everything. Against Villa, Enzo Fernandez showed up and played his first real game for Chelsea because every other game doesn't count up until now. With a beautiful, beautiful free kick. That, nothing, taking nothing away from that. But what's interesting is we had some other action. The consequence of beating Aston Villa is that who did Chelsea have waiting in the wings to play next in the FA Cup? They're going to invite a bunch of dirty Leeds fans over to the bridge. Tommy's not taking a bus this time. There's no Tommy. It's Potch driving his Lambo over to Stamford Bridge. I'm really excited. For some reason, I'm really excited about that match, even though I just have a bad feeling that Chelsea that we know are going to show up, and Leeds United, as good as they've been playing, they're playing in the championship. They're still
no, absolutely.
they're not
absolutely.
destroying people in the championship. But I just have to say one thing I saw that I want to order it. I think they're only like $3, but I saw this pin on like a Facebook market. And I thought the Leeds fans would like that.
That's pretty good. I think that if I'm Leeds, I am excited. I'm excited for this match, and I'm excited without expectation. I'm excited because I've got a quality side who's fighting for promotion. Let's see where we are. If promotion happened today and we're playing Chelsea, let's see where we stand with who we have. Who have their big boy pants on, and who are just, you're not going to cut it. Because I think that was one of the kind of the commentary from Leeds fans. When they were in the Premiership, that there were players that were like, yeah, you're just not Premiership material. You're great in the Champions League, in the Championship, but you just don't cut it. And I think this is a match that's gonna like say a lot of things about their present squad.
Yeah, and Leeds United, there's already that animosity towards Chelsea, but I would say that that's coming nearly 100% from the fan base. When you look at who Leeds United have that are gone now, that would carry that flame, like a Luke Ayling, Stuart Dallas, these people who have more of the history of the club in their blood. So
right.
Who is it from Leeds United that's going to carry that animosity and the rivalry? And it's going to be the fans. It's going to be those traveling Leeds United fans, which we love hearing on television, out seeing the home supporters, which is going to be really fun. Because as we know, during the Wolves match, Wolves were singing, "Your club is shit, your club is shit." And then Chelsea fans started singing, "Our club is shit, our club is shit."
Yeah, that was I something in my brain, like, what are you hearing? When I'm watching it live, and then when I see the little TikTok video, I was like,
yeah. Even Tom says the players don't care about Chelsea. And that's true. That's something, I mean, we see it every year. And like with Arsenal, with the North London derby, we have players like Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe, academy kids that know what it means to score against Tottenham, to beat Tottenham, what the rivalry means. And everybody else, like, they're new. They know it's a big game, but they know that it's a big game for the fans. To them, it's another game. And so there's something to be said about the crowd getting them involved. So I think Leeds United supporters, traveling supporters who go to that FA Cup match, are going to have to really bring it for their players to keep their players knowing that it's a huge game. Doesn't matter where in the FA Cup round it is. Doesn't matter if it's the Premier League. Doesn't matter where it is. It's Chelsea. It's in their backyard. It's in Chelsea's yard, and they need to put in a performance. So I'm excited to see it, and for all of our fans who are on here, all of our Leeds United fans, including Ben, Arizona, finally off of work. Beer time. Let's get it.
Yeah,
so let's go ahead and bring on Mr.
I feel
Tom,
like it's been a while since we've seen Ben's name in the comments.
Yeah, it's been a while.
How about you, Tom?
Let's go ahead and bring Mr. Tom. Get in here.
Hey, there he is.
Hello.
How are you, Tom? We're talking Leeds United early. So we got the Leeds United going over to Stamford Bridge in a few weeks.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Are you excited? First of all, you guys got through in a tough sort of tie against Plymouth Argyle. Against Plymouth, right? Plymouth Argyle, yeah.
Yep.
Who scored a lot of goals. They actually score a lot of goals. And we I don't know about you, but I was watching that match closely going, they're going to score. Leeds need another goal. And I was surprised that you went so light against them. What are your
I
thoughts
wasn't
on that
surprised at
match
all.
and the new one?
No, I wasn't surprised at all. I thought it was not unfair of the coach to believe that we had it in our locker to beat them without the big players. The reality is that they went full strength, we didn't, and with one or two changes, we beat them 4-1. Yeah, granted that was over 2 hours, but the fact of the matter is, we were the better team. They essentially scored their only real big chance in the game. My boy Furpo played them on the side. It's fine though. He knew we were going to win anyway, so it's perfectly acceptable. But he you know what? It was a bit of chaos from him because he was like, let's just make it a bit interesting. You know, like when you just give them the feeling, the hope. It's the hope that kills you, eh?
Yeah.
And
so you're saying Ivan Toney gave him a quick call?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
sure,
why
man.
not?
Whatever. Not a bad game considering the conditions. It was one of the few Leeds matches I've been able to watch, and I think it may have been the first time that I was like, holy shit, that weather looks absolutely miserable. Because sometimes I watch it and watch matches in inclement weather, and it's like, oh, it can't be that bad. They don't look drenched, they don't look wet, but in this match, everyone looked like they had swam 1/3 of the triathlon. They were just soaked. Very miserable conditions.
I felt I was getting wet watching it.
In extra time for sure, with all the goals. But
hey,
Tom, is there? Because I feel like I remember back in the day, anytime there was like crazy weather, crazy rain, snow, especially in American football, you would have your certain players that, like your enforcer type player or your gritty, nasty player who loved playing in the rain because everyone was a little bit slower and tackles were a little bit more lenient with the cards because you're sliding and stuff. And you had those Vinnie Jones type characters who relished those sorts of moments. We didn't see lots of that, but as I saw the ball, slowly starting to move slower, I was like, all right, let's get some tackles in here. Let's get some really crunching tackles in here. And there was one or two, but do you guys have, does that player still exist in modern football?
No, the reason I think that player doesn't exist in modern football, and if they do, they're very rare. So someone's going to name someone like that. But they're always usually the sort of player that you hate when you play against them and they're not in your team.
Sergio Ramos.
Yeah, exactly.
Rudiger for me.
Rudiger.
Yeah.
He was one of those fucking enforcers who got like, he'd hurt you, but he'd get away with it. Like worse than McTominay because his tackles were way cleaner.
Oh, he's getting away with way worse at Real Madrid right now. Real Madrid.
Oh, no. I realized when I watch him play, it's like he's just strong and big, and he puts it in there. And if I make contact with you, I'm gonna hurt you, but it's gonna be legal contact.
Strong, big, and puts it in there. Is that what you said?
Rudiger took out Kevin De Bruyne.
So he said, listen, when it gets really wet and slippery, I want somebody strong and big who can put it in there.
That's not PG.
Okay, if that's your interpretation.
We're talking football. What are you guys talking about?
That's words that left your mouth.
That was words that left Mark's mouth. I'm just condensing.
Yeah, condensing. Out of context, you bastard.
Well, listen, Mark, he was huge. I had to condense it a little bit.
Of course. I am very long-winded and long in the tooth. No, for me, Rudiger is that kind of enforcer. Shaka also.
Shaka loved a rainy day. Shaka loved a rainy day. Oh, man.
Well, anyway, to answer your question that you did ask 2 minutes ago, and then it's my fault that it went off on this tangent, but to answer your question, the reason I think that breed of player is dying out is because football's becoming more and more of a non-contact sport.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially
Well,
in the VAR age.
Yeah, everything gets slowed down, slow-mo, which is very annoying. So, that actually is a fantastic segue, Tom, into one of the topics of today's conversation, which is the new implementation or possible, I guess not possible implementation, but they're gonna start looking at possibly
maybe
that's not that one. Sorry, I'm trying to drag it out until I find the right
thinking about
thing. They are thinking about bringing in a blue card, a third card, and they're actually getting some lower leagues to test it out this summer, including possibly the Women's World Cup and the Men's World Cup, which I don't think it'll be ready by then. But no, that's not it. Did I not even put this one up here? I don't have.
I have no idea, but I don't see them putting it in World Cup action. I think that is too big of a stage to be testing. Let's see if this works, folks, for the World Cup. You know,
well, I mean,
I don't know how and when. My understanding is that it's not just this year, it's been in some of the lower leagues for a couple of years now. Is that the case?
What,
I'm not
the blue
really
card?
sure.
No.
Yeah, the blue card.
I don't think so.
Hello, Bono.
And you know, I mean, they for the purposes that they would like to use, it has shown success. I think it is a very bad idea for the very sake of the fact that I couldn't even understand it when it was first proposed. I thought blue would be like a lesser violation and yellow would be the next one up and then the red card. But it turns out it's the blue card that is, you know, would actually be like above. So when we say, oh, that's quite orange, you know, Tom is he's just beside himself here. So I'm just going to turn it over to Tom. And
Mark, I was going to say,
why are they doing this?
If I could find the red card, I would red card you, Mark, just because Tom is flipping out. Tom is flipping out so much. Tom,
they
go.
Can't even ref with two cards that they have available to them. What are they going to do when adding a third one?
Thank you for very succinctly putting what I was trying to get to, and it would have taken me an hour.
All right, let's get loud, guys. This is exactly, Tom, you are exactly right. This is my big thing with it is more cards. Not having enough cards to show people is not the problem. The problem is referees not being able to do their job on the day and not being able to implement the technology that we have already produced for them to use to their benefit, and they do not know how to use it. They do not get better at it. They do not get punished for misusing the technology or just doing their job poorly. So now we're going to say, instead of getting better at your job, we are going to allow you to dictate how a game goes, even more so because you might think that's a red card challenge. He deserves to go, but I'm going to give him a blue. And so maybe he doesn't go off and he goes off and he comes back. Or we get what somebody else I was listening to, Ange Postecoglou. I hate his club, but the guy has decent things to say. And he said, what the hell are we doing? Every other sport in the world is trying to get their sport to move faster. And football wants to make the sport move slower, because what's going to happen is Ivan Toney is going to get a blue card, or an important player like that, a Bruno Guimaraes, Bruno Fernandes, somebody like that is going to get a blue card, and their club is going to sit back and hold the ball for 10 minutes and wait for their player to get back.
Well, not only that, but if I may, Tom, I promise I'll be brief. Not only that, but could you imagine what will happen when VAR got involved
Yes.
oh, it's a blue card. Well, wait a minute. We think it's yellow, or it could be a red. We're not really sure, but we're going to need to look at it. We're already having issues with stoppage time being 10 to 12 minutes on the average. Could you imagine how things would be with this third card involved?
Well, that's what Chris said on the chat was what they need to implement then, if they're going to do that, is the 60-minute clock that stops and starts and stops and starts. Like there's no longer extra time. It is a stop and a start, and that will lead to more stoppages, which will lead to more commercials, which will lead to more ad revenue, which will lead to American fucking football.
You realise what happened though in this situation is that you're going to end up with a player. They're going to spend 5 minutes deliberating. VAR will spend 5 minutes deliberating what the difference between the blue card and the yellow card. Then and then basically they're going to spend 5 minutes deliberating whether this player should be removed for 10 minutes. So what you've essentially created is that player individually will have a 15-minute rest, of which 5 minutes of that is not penalised realistically.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to have a second half-time break. He's going to come on nice and refreshed. And as you may say, oh, but they'll be down a man. Well, yeah, but only for 66% of the time that he's actually recharging himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, totally. That is a
great question, Stan the Man. Unbelievable question as well that I hadn't even thought of. How will this work for goalkeepers? Because they're talking about dissent and things like that, and all of these. What about a goalkeeper who gets a little mouthy? You're going to send the goalkeeper off for 10 minutes? They can't replace him. If I'm not mistaken,
I can't quote it because I read quite a bit on this today, but the rule would be very similar to if a goalie got sent off. And
which is a player can put the gloves on.
Right. Or you can bring in, you can pull somebody for a second goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then 10 minutes later, you have two goalkeepers.
No, but in theory, in as far as the rule that they're thinking about is that the keeper would be able to come back in at no penalty to either keepers, but the player that was removed from the pitch can't go back on.
But then you have two keepers playing then. Just only one of them is wearing the gloves.
No, you'll end up removing two players, one being the keeper.
So it's a fucking red card. So it's a fucking red. It ends up becoming a red card.
But because that keeper can come back after the 10 minutes, but the player that was subbed out for the keeper, because you're down to 10 men.
And that's what I'm saying. Now that keeper's on
that player can't come back on.
Yeah. So you have your keeper there, and now 10 minutes is up. Here comes your other keeper. One of them takes the gloves off and plays center back.
No. He comes off. He comes off as a player.
And then you're down a man. Or now you've had to make two substitutions.
Yeah.
Now you've had to burn two substitutions.
Like I said, I'm not too clear on it, but the rule is similar from what I understand. The rule is similar to if your keeper got a red card and had to leave, you can bring in a keeper and take someone else out.
If you have substitutions. If you don't have substitutions left, you are allowed to put one of your players in gloves, like Giroud.
Now we're just parsing every single scenario. I'm speaking in general.
Yeah, but in general speaking, let's say it's towards the end of the game, you've used all your subs, your keeper gets a blue card. I guess you're allowed to give the gloves to one of your players who's already on the pitch, but you can't bring a new keeper in. Because you don't have
I think that might be the substitution rule might be kind of tweaked, much like a concussion, concussion. But you can in case of concussion, I can sub my concussed player, but I give a sub to the other team. Maybe that might happen here. I don't know.
And there we are with
know because
7
this
or 8
is so
subs.
new.
And it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Like, you've got one of the only sports, and I hate that I'm quoting Ange again, but he said the reason why football is the best sport in the world is because anybody can grab one ball, put 2 random objects somewhere, and that becomes the goal, and you can play football. Hardly any other sports can you do that without kit and gear and blah 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 blah. I guess basketball you're fine, but it's something of like football is such one of the most pure sports where you have. I love explaining it to people when they're like, "Oh, you don't watch American football? Why don't you watch American football? You only like soccer?" And I'm like, "Well, listen. Here's the thing: you play for 45 minutes. If you're subbed, you're off, and you only get 5 subs. So you have a short break, and then you have another 45 minutes. And like, it's so pure to me that the more we're adding and the more we're adding and the more we're adding is just adding more cooks, more terrible chefs into your kitchen that already sucks. Like, just stop it. Just let the guys play fucking football. And I was saying, watching Leeds United versus Plymouth, watching some of those challenges, watching the offsides, the linesman called tons of offside calls, non-calls, and then watching every single one of those replays, he got them all right. They were all fucking right. And even if he would have been wrong, you could see that, like, okay, he may have been wrong by a hair of a sleeve, but no, in the game of football, he's fucking offside. You know what I mean? Where like, oh, okay, he actually got that advantage. He might not technically be offside because somebody 30 yards away on the other side of the pitch had his elbow out or something. But you're going, no, that guy's offside. That guy's not offside. That's a penalty. That's not a penalty. And there's something pure to watching these matches where they have no VAR and I don't know. Stop me, one of you, please. Jesus Christ.
Well, Chelsea versus Leeds will be VAR.
It'll have VAR?
It will have VAR because both stadiums have the capabilities.
Stamford Bridge has VAR turned on.
The home stadium,
basically.
Yeah.
Oh, so if it was at Ellen Road, you wouldn't use it because you guys definitely have the technology.
Yeah, but I believe it's not because we don't use it on a weekly basis. It's essentially switched off, and I know someone's going to say just switch it back on again or whatever. Because if that was the case, why wouldn't Leeds and Plymouth add VAR?
Because both teams.
It was at Plymouth, wasn't it?
No, that was a replay.
Yeah, but we played them at Ellen Road first.
Yeah.
No. But the last match.
Yeah.
Was at Plymouth.
But I think
Plymouth
Mark is on something.
have.
I think both teams have to play under VAR, or at least have the capabilities. There's something in that. Mark is right.
Yeah, I'm not really
where,
sure.
like,
I have no idea.
I don't get
like,
a chance
if it's
to
Chelsea
watch
Wrexham,
a lot of.
neither one will have VAR. If it's Chelsea
that's
Leeds,
not true.
I know you guys
That's
have
not true.
VAR, but
if Chelsea
you don't.
played Wrexham at Stamford Bridge, there would be VAR.
There would be. It is the home stadium. I just don't know how it worked. Like, I think what I'm trying to say is I don't know how it works in the championship because Leeds is equipped for VAR. They have to. They didn't dismantle it and ship it off on eBay and go hope for the best.
The only way you'd have found this out is if Leeds drew Leicester, because both teams have the equipment.
That's a good point. That's a real strong point.
Because you didn't have VAR when you played Plymouth, right? At home, you didn't use VAR.
Nope.
Yeah, so maybe it's that. Yeah. Maybe it's the league that you're in. If the league that you're in uses VAR.
Yeah,
Chelsea will definitely have VAR. That doesn't. I don't know.
I'm sure it'll have VAR this game.
Yeah,
but I definitely, I think we're all in agreement as far as this business of the blue card, you know, and a lot of the news in relationship to that has been coming out in the last 24 hours, and it's like everyone is going, no, this is ridiculous. I like the idea of a sin bin.
Teams will find
I think that I think the potential of the idea of a blue card is there. I just think they're
there
using
you go,
it
then.
wrong.
You got one already, Mark.
I'll take the blue card, but hear me out. Let's just say that what if a blue card was only used for when you were like, so a blue card would be used for flopping. A blue card would be used
a red card should be used for that.
Would be used for like dissent and getting into that ref's face or kicking the ball away. You get a blue card.
Mark,
now,
yeah. Okay, go
ahead.
Right
now you get a yellow card. And that isn't necessarily like it doesn't put you at risk to get a red if you're a solid player, but what it does add up is your suspension cards. You know, when you get a yellow for dissent for doing something stupid, what if you got a blue card and 2 blues got you in the sin bin for 10 minutes? Mark. Yeah, Tom, you're right, or Lolo, you're right. It'll bog things down a little bit, but it definitely in the long run, I think it would benefit teams.
Yeah, Mark, this is exactly like my 6-year-old daughter and her friends when we're out in front of the house and they're like, can we play red light, green light? Tom, do you know red? What's up, John?
Yo.
Hey, John. Cheers. Long time no see.
What's going on?
Hello, John.
What is this, blue balls? What are you talking about?
Blue
yes,
cards.
It's our new show. Things have changed since you were last with us. We talk about blue balls now.
Oh, boy. Okay. So what does Amaya say?
So Tom, do you know the game red light, green light?
I do, but only from Squid Game.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay, so quickly, the game red light, green light, somebody stands and says, somebody stands a distance away from everybody else who is on a line, and they say red light, and everybody has to stop. And then they say green light, and you can run. The first person to touch them wins. But if they say red light, everyone has to stop. And if you don't stop, you got to go back to the end of the line. Okay? So that's the basic premise. We're outside playing, and they make me be the guy there, and that's fine because I'm like, okay, red light, green light, red light, green light. And then I said purple light, and they all went, what? What's that? And I was like, oh, that's where you have to hop like a bunny. They all flip out laughing and like, oh, we love purple light, purple light. And then I walk away. I come back a while later. They're still playing. They have purple light. They have brown light. They have polka dot light. They have one that turns you into a dragon. One you have to roll. One you have to run backwards. One you have to carry somebody. That's exactly what you're talking about, Mark. Is now we're like, okay, well, no, purple card. Okay, a light purple card will mean you were mean to me, but not mean enough to get a yellow card.
You know, I really missed all of these
I don't think there's a need to split. I don't think there's a need to split it infinitely just because you've done it once.
Adding in new cards is just going to lead to adding in more and more and more and more cards.
But it becomes a little bit different because just last year
from Anisha.
Cool.
Just last year.
Is it bag full of money?
I know what Mark's about to say.
Yeah, there's not too much there. Sorry, Mark.
Could be
no worries. I just want to point out that in the off season before this season, it was said that like dissent would not be tolerated. You know? And so why not create a card for that rule so as to not penalize, because like, I mean, a yellow card is kind of an egregious thing. Dissent is just you're pissed. And that becomes the whim of the ref. And we're seeing a lot more players, especially earlier in the season, by game 7, game 8, game 9, being suspended for a game because one of their or two of their yellow cards was dissent.
I like Momaster.
You know, so why not introduce something that is not as harmful? It's definitely a warning. You know.
Okay, hold on. Momaster actually is up for comment of the night with that one. We are listening to you, Mark. That was just funny. Because they pull out the blue card and you see him, no! And they're like, chill out, it's 10 minutes. And he's like, oh, I thought it was red. Sorry, I can't see.
No, in Portugal, they have a white card.
A white card?
There's a white card in Portugal to recognise fair play.
Yeah. I heard something about that.
Tom, don't they have? Isn't there a sin bin in like the lower divisions?
Yeah, that's
No,
what somebody
that's
was saying. The blue card is already implemented in like youth leagues,
Because I remember
which is
Greg.
essentially a sin bin.
Remember, Greg was playing. He was like all the way down. You know, from Only Football Fans. He was playing in a game, and the referee said to him, "You're off to the sin bin for like 5 minutes or whatever." So he had to go and like stand in his little box, you know, by himself.
He had a box.
Well, I don't know if it was a box. You know, it was like a designated area where he had to stand.
Better with a box. Everything's better if there's.
I mean, it should be a penalty box like in hockey. That would be great if he had to climb over the boards to go into.
No, it should be a little fucking cardboard box with a slit for the eyes, and they have to get in it. They got to put it down, and they have to crouch down a little bit.
Anything that
and
comes
it
out
says
of a
box of
is
shame
instantly
with
popular.
bars.
Yeah, it says box of shame on it. That's exactly what they need.
Oh man, I miss these conversations. No.
Yeah.
Well, Tom's keeping me busy, so
good.
Tom and Ben.
Good.
Yeah.
Tom and Ben. Oh, on their show, on the Leeds United show. Yeah, we actually talk Leeds United. We haven't even really talked Arsenal. I've only slipped it into a few conversations.
Shit, if I would have known, I would have come on earlier.
Yeah.
Makes a change.
We talked about the wet grass and getting slippery and slipping it in.
I haven't followed anything.
No.
Football-wise. I know the Rangers are
good.
playing in 18 minutes, so.
Well, cheers to you.
So we basically have
Glad
John
you're
for
busy,
17
man.
minutes.
Exactly.
What was that?
Exactly.
So we have John for 17 minutes.
Not even.
Yeah, 16 and a half
Right.
at most.
And so I loaded that up, what you asked me for. I don't know if you can see it.
Thank you so much. And in the future, it works if you send it through WhatsApp. I'm able to quickly.
But you can't go into the right next to settings. It says present.
Oh shit! You're totally right. I probably could have. No, it only has the ones that I loaded. No,
It should
209.
be there.
Yeah. It's there.
There you go.
You're totally right. My bad.
Yeah, no problem.
My bad.
So when you're doing betting in the dark, let's see if I lost any of my skills.
All right. Well, we're ready for betting in the dark. That's about it on the blue cards. You guys done with blue cards?
Yeah, why not?
I was
All
done
right.
with blue cards 5 seconds after I saw the article in that saying it was going to be a thing.
Right.
Yeah. Well, let's get to it then. The spotlight's heading your way, Tom.
Betting
Oh, sorry, I forgot you're here, John.
in the dark with Mr. Tom.
Come on, love, place your bets.
Hello.
You screwed it up, Lolo.
Roll up.
You screwed it up.
I said, let me see if I lost my skills.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about like your betting skills
No,
or your graphic skills.
this is Tom's moment. Sorry, Tom.
I'm done. I'm not touching. I'm going to keep listening, but use this as my bio break.
Right. Okay. So, going for something nice and simple for the early kickoff. We're going Man City to win this comfortably. Haaland's going to get his first goal in a while. Someone's going to tell me he scored at another time that I'm forgetting. That's fine. Foden seems to be in a bit of form. I'll say that. He scored that trick in one game. And obviously, Man City games generally don't pay out that high unless you do them to lose. So I can't see it tomorrow. So there you go.
I like it. I like it a lot. Phil Foden has been hot. He's been getting a little more playing time. Man City 4-1 against Everton. I might be charmed to say that Everton doesn't score, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did, because City does give up goals. Typically the first one.
Don't score.
What? Say again?
Pays out even less if they don't score.
Yeah. And I had Holland for a hat trick last week, and I had the right idea, just the wrong player. As
I've left it open for that, because if he does get a hat trick and Foden scored, it could still win.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it totally could. Yeah. I would take. I don't have my phone with me, but I will jump on the app tonight or before the 7:30 kickoff tomorrow, and I'd put a clam on it.
What does Lolo put? $1.48?
$1.27 for
Okay.
the 27 whatevers.
Okay. Next one, Tom.
Yes, please. Right. Oh my. Right, okay. So we've got the match to finish. It's a Desmond Tutu in the Nottingham Forest versus Newcastle game. Awoniyi, I think that's his name, seems to be their main man when they get a goal. And obviously Callum Wilson will almost certainly score a penalty.
Yeah, the only thing here is that since he's gotten back, Awoniyi has yet to start, so that might be a tall order.
I think he starts. I think he starts.
I would hope so.
He came off the bench and was fucking electric. And they were like, we don't know if he has a full game in him, but I think he should be ready.
Well, he came off the bench against you guys and scored, didn't he?
Yeah. Did he come off the bench? I know Elonga came off the bench.
I'm pretty sure he did.
I thought it was Elonga.
I'm a big fan of this guy. I'm a big fan of this guy.
When Forest have Elonga and Iwanye up front together, they are an attacking side that can do some damage. And I think they're going to go at this match thinking they've got a shot. That Newcastle is showing some weakness in the back, but Newcastle are going to have to start up in their game for the rest of the season if they want to stay up in a European spot. So Newcastle got to go through. This could either be 4-0 Newcastle or a Desmond is easily on the cards.
Yeah, both teams haven't shown me any sort of consistency where I can say one way or the other. I know it would pay so less out, but I actually would pick one and be like a double chance, like a Newcastle tie or something like that.
Yeah,
they don't pay a lot at all.
No, it doesn't. But yeah, I'm not feeling so confident about this myself.
I like it, Tom.
Thank you very much. But yeah, it's a crapshoot, this, because what should happen is probably not going to happen, and both teams are not exactly flourishing at the moment, are they?
No.
So they both need the result. So probably neither will end up happy.
Yep.
Can we go to the final one, please?
Certainly, Tom. But before we do that, what are you doing Sunday?
Well, on Sunday evening, we'll be reviewing Leeds versus Rotherham, and I may have some bonus footage from Plymouth versus Leeds. I say may. I have.
Cool.
Because I already made it. I mean, yeah. So, yeah, cool. And Desmond's going to be having a busy weekend, hopefully, because we're going to have Villa Man United to be 2-2. The first encounter was 3-2 to the Scum, but it is the fabled 4:30 UK Sunday afternoon kickoff, meaning goals, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, basically, I'm going to have Hoyen, who seems to have started to know where the goal is, net first, which will spark Villa interaction, where Ali Watkins will score 2 goals.
Ali Watkins should be able to. Ali Watkins for 2 goals should put you in like the 10,000 to 1 category.
No idea where it happened.
This is tough because what Villa shows up and what United shows up. Villa have lost 2 at home in a row. They hadn't lost for like a year at home. And now they've lost 2 in a row at home. This is crazy.
Yeah, but I like this. It's just crazy enough to work. I could see it being 2-2. And I could see Hoyland scoring first. And I could see Ali Watkins taking a break from her British sitcom to come onto the pitch for Aston Villa and score twice. I really can see these things.
I mean, this is one where you might as well add Villa to score last, because I feel like Man United will score 2 and it'll be 2-0 and they'll have it all tied up and then it'll end 2-2.
Right. Or it could easily be like, I mean, there's so many scenarios, but because there are so many scenarios, it's what makes this bet so attractive at 430 to 1.
I like that Bowmaster can retire on, 1,200, 1,300 pounds.
Yeah, well, he lives in Amsterdam, so it's a little cheaper out there.
He lives in Tom's dungeon.
Oh, yeah, cheap rent when you're being held hostage.
On that in the dungeon, yeah.
When you're being held hostage, the rent is affordable for once.
It's surprisingly cheap.
Yeah, shit. Well,
my overheads, though, are really high.
All right. I thought you said you had a bonus one.
Did you?
Did I?
You don't have a bonus Leeds United one?
Bonus. No, that was I had the footage for the Plymouth game.
Oh,
so when we were talking about this, he said he's going to have a little bonus.
Yeah.
Ah, I see.
Although that will be going slightly late on Sunday because Ben's at work, and we're going to do the show a bit later.
Here's a good question.
Because I think he's asked this before, but to be fair, because when I make predictions for Leeds and they don't come in, it hurts twice.
Yeah.
I've got deja vu. I'm sure I've answered that before.
Yes, I've heard you say that. So what else have I missed in the last, I don't know, 4 weeks?
All sorts of stuff. Tom and Momaster had a baby.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We had
His name is Tomo. Tommo.
I'm not doing that one. All right, fair enough.
We've been regularly receiving paychecks during your absence.
Oh, really?
But now that you're back, I don't know about the balance. So
the past few weeks were like $1,000 shows every time, man. It's
really?
Crazy, man. Yeah, bad time to take a break.
So I should get
contract
a little
was only
bit,
3 weeks.
with all of the betting in the darks that I've done.
Oh, yeah, we'll send you your cut.
I saw the one that you did with just like the banners. I was like, holy God Almighty!
Oh, because we didn't get it done. Yeah, I didn't get it done in time. Yeah.
Oh God.
Well, let's take a look at some of the memes that we got for today. I didn't quite let me see if I can download some of the ones from where did you send them in Happy Hour, Tom? All the memes. Let me see. Okay, but for now, let's kick it off with a little Jurgen Klopp. Klopp on the blue cards. I'd keep things as simple as possible. It doesn't sound like a fantastic idea at the moment, but I can't remember the last fantastic idea from these guys. IFAB, and I am 56. You got a point there, Klopp. You got a point there, Klopp. That is absolutely true. Then shocking scenes. Oh, yes. This is from last week. This is one of the evergreen ones. AI will probably take over the world and end us all in the future. Also, AI camera mistakes referee's bald head for ball and follows it through the match.
I wonder what point they realised that that's what was happening.
They're like, goal line
really
technology, it did not go in.
Oh,
wow.
Silly. And then we get to Chelsea. As you guys all saw, love this pin. I'm going to order it myself. Go get your father's gun and shoot the Chelsea scum. Yeah, America loves those sorts of pins to be wearing around. And then to keep it on Chelsea, I absolutely love this next one. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was a school that actually put on a test a shot by Mikhailo Modric that turned into a math problem. Last night, Mikhailo Modric missed an absolute sitter against Liverpool. His shot traveled a total distance of 90 meters at an angle of 56 degrees upward from the pitch at the time the ball had gone out of play. If the goal is 2.5 meters high, how far above the bar did Modric's shot reach? Somebody put this on their math test. Some teacher wrote this out and actually put it on a math test.
I kind of think that's the ultimate burn toward both Mudryk and Chelsea, as this is forever. There is no stat that will change this.
Was that little Naji's teacher?
There is nothing that would ever change this from being true. Just as long as kids make sure you show your work to prove that Mudryk shot it x divided by 56 over pi, whatever. I have no idea anymore. They taught me this in school, I promise you.
Get your abacus out.
I have an abacus.
Oh, I just love that. I love that some kid had to answer that. And you have all the like Liverpool and Arsenal fans and Wolves fans like, oh, I know this. And the one Chelsea fan just sitting there pissed off. I love it.
You mean triggered.
Well, to keep it at high school math and to bring it over to the U.S., I don't know if you guys know this, but Taylor Swift is Travis Kelce's girlfriend. Travis Kelce, the tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, who will be in the Super Bowl this Sunday. Taylor Swift was at the Grammys a couple nights ago, flying to Japan or Tokyo, I don't know, somewhere in Asia to do a concert. And then she's flying back for the Super Bowl, literally like the day of, but it's a 17-hour difference. I'm not sure. But another math question here. Me in high school math, I'm never going to need to calculate the speed and distance that a plane will travel for any reason. Me as an adult. If Taylor takes off at 11:30 p.m. Tokyo time, traveling in her private jet, which flies at a speed of approximately 500 knots, depending on tailwinds, we still have to account for the time change to Las Vegas, which is 17 hours behind. So if we run all the likely scenarios on this model that I built, exactly, what time will Taylor arrive? Now we are realizing why they made us do these fucking problems if a train leaves Boston, you know, I don't know if you guys have these questions, Tom, but we have these questions.
We had these questions.
Quick math tells me that it's going to be about 37 apples.
37 apples.
Oh,
In an
the
orange.
Mudrick one was 72.1 meters over the bar, by the way.
71.2
That's
meters?
absolutely
70
fucking incredible.
72.1
Because is it even possible to kick a ball 72 meters over the net?
Oh my god.
That's
That's awesome.
that's a football field.
All right, Ranger game is on. Good seeing you
All
guys.
right, John.
All right,
All right,
John.
good
Be
to see you
good.
later. All right,
Cheers.
bye.
See you, brother.
Later,
All right,
Tom.
now we get into the Celebration Police. The Celebration Police, after this fantastic work telling Arsenal not to celebrate their win against his beloved Liverpool, we're delighted to welcome Officer Carragher to the force. Yes, Jamie Carragher and the Celebration Police. Paddy Power, you scored a goal. You've been brilliant in the next round. Into the next round, get your shirt on. I'm serious, honestly. Absolutely correct. Enzo Fernandez going nuts over his free kick, taking his shirt off, doing all that, celebrating in an FA Cup thing.
No. I don't think that is, you can't equate those two. Enzo he did it at an away game in the Chelsea corner to prove a point, saying, despite all the rumors, I'm here. There's a reason for that celebration. Arsenal just won a game.
And there's no reason for that?
But it is not the same. It is so not the same. Enzo is telling the fan base, I'm here to stay, by taking off his shirt. Arsenal beating Liverpool, sure. But to act as if you won the league, the theatrics, the Odegaard grabbing the camera and taking photos, no, it's definitely not the same, my friend. Definitely not the same. And you can disagree. That's fine. You know, if I was an Arsenal fan, this would be one of the biggest wins of the year.
Yeah.
You know?
I
but there
has
to be a reason why week after week after week in social media and in the televised media and radio media, all the medias is going, you think Arsenal celebrates just a little too hard? Because this isn't an isolated thing. It goes on week after week after week.
Yeah, because Mark,
you get a little crazy.
Because Mark,
I agree with Mark to the extent that my initial my main opinion on it is basically what's the big deal? But then there's
I also feel
that is like, what is it about Arsenal that this is always a discussion? So what am I not seeing?
No, Tom. I mean, you guys have a point with that of like over celebrating. Yeah, it can be crazy, and it is weird that you always hear about Arsenal. But the fact is, you can look back week after week after week, a team who comes back from behind and wins any match in the Premier League, and they celebrate like crazy. Klopp,
I agree.
himself,
Liverpool do it.
on the pitch. Yeah. And but De Zerbi, anybody.
Yeah.
But you only hear about it with Arsenal. That's the only reason I have a complaint against it. If nobody celebrated and it was only Arsenal that celebrated a win.
Have you seen what Curtis Jones has said today?
Yeah, I saw that.
That's fascinating to me.
Explain, Tom.
Essentially, to cut a long story short, he's given an interview to the BBC, which is going to go out on the football programme, Football Focus, tomorrow lunchtime. The gist of what he said, though, is that basically he feels Arsenal and Arteta have basically stolen Liverpool's celebration of Klopp fist bumping, which begs the question: why does he think that they invented fist bumping?
He's never been to New Jersey. That's why. New Jersey's been fist bumping since.
But there is this thing, and it's been a trend in the last couple of years, and maybe it's gone on beyond. But the whole like kind of fair play and gentleman's game is kind of going out the wayside. Maybe I'm just imagining it. But you're seeing like it's meant to be disrespectful, and it is disrespectful to have teams that will steal other teams' celebrations. Like case in point, James Madison.
The dart.
He throws the dart. Cameron Archer. He throws. Yeah, he should throw the arch. But it just becomes like I don't know who did it against Tottenham. They went out to like a 2-0. Was it Saka? It wasn't Everton.
Saka did it in our when I was at the Emirates. Saka did it when we went up 2-1, and I was like, "Don't fucking do that." And then they came back. But last week, I think it was last week or the week before, somebody else did it, and Tottenham came back to beat them.
Yeah, I don't think that's cool.
That's different. That's different, Mark. That's different. But no, that's different. What you're saying is totally spot on. Yeah, if you want to steal, like if somebody stole, Trossard's thing,
is it a celebration? Is it a celebration? Then it's not different. It's not different because it's the way you're celebrating.
No, because Mark,
it's still a celebration.
Mark, and
yes, it becomes one that is an over exuberant and not necessarily.
No. It's not the fact that it's over exuberant. It's the fact that it's me specifically calling somebody out. If I score a goal and go up and do this, I am calling out all of Tottenham and I am calling out James Madison. If I go out and go like this,
then you're calling out
fucking Jurgen Klopp.
Calling out Jurgen Klopp in his stadium.
That's the thing.
By mimicking his celebration.
You're not mimicking his celebration. You're just cheering the fucking crowd.
He basically said Mark, their celebration.
Mark, a fist pump versus like a specific
I'm not saying a
Rashford
fist bump. I'm saying
the Rashford thing that they were doing, everybody doing the Rashford thing was all a diss on Marcus Rashford. The dart thing is a diss on Tottenham. Going out and celebrating the fact that you just won one of the teams that you have not been able to beat in fucking forever, in a game that you weren't supposed to win and you absolutely dominated, and you celebrate.
I love the fact that he can upsell a game. Ultimately, you won a game.
Mark, there are games
you won a game.
I don't want to fucking talk about it, Mr. We beat Chelsea 48 times. You told me that on Saturday or Sunday. No, there are games and there are games. Christ. There are games and there are games. When we beat Manchester City, Arteta had never beaten Manchester City. When we did that, it's a big fucking deal. When we beat Liverpool, it's a big fucking deal. It doesn't matter where it is in the league or whatever. We've not been able to do that. So for us as a fan base, and fuck yeah. And for us, we want to see our players on the pitch. We want to see them as excited as we are. This goes back to what I was talking about. The Leeds players showing up at Ellen Road. They won't know it's a real battle, historical rivalry, a hatred sort of thing, unless the fans let them know. So Arsenal is letting our fans know, is letting our players know, and the players are letting the fans know that they understand and they're with it.
Cool.
So fuck you. I think you should celebrate every single win, because if you lose one game, you can lose the Premier League. Just ask Klopp himself, where beating Bournemouth can win you the league. Beating Brighton can win you the league, because everybody says we lost the league when we lost to Forest or Brighton or one of the West Ham last year. So you can
lost to
lose the
them, I
game in
believe.
one. So why not
you
beat
did.
them and be fucking happy about it? To me, fuck you. Celebrate every fucking victory. Every
Cool, man.
victory. There's only 38 of them per season.
Yeah. Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair
And
enough.
Mark,
but
that wasn't a fuck you to you. That was a
no,
fuck
and
you
I'm not gonna take it. I see it's the general fuck you, but
yeah,
all I think is like that sort of display sets you up for ridicule because you can celebrate and win all the matches you want, but if you don't win what's important, which is the league,
yep, then you get made fun of. You set yourself
and you're
up
gonna
to
be
made
like,
fun of.
you become a meme. You become.
You might not win it anyway, regardless.
Yeah,
so ultimately, what's it matter?
But that's the thing. Only one team is gonna win. So all these other teams are gonna be made fun of for bottling or for not even getting close. So in the end, for us supporters, I don't know about the whole rest of the footballing world, but for us supporters, the way I feel after we win a match, if it's against Brighton, Palace, fucking Luton Town, any of those, all the way up. Yes, certain ones matter more, but the way I feel afterwards, if I see the players on the pitch feeling anywhere near what I feel, I am linked to my club more than any pundit could ever take away.
Fair enough.
Right? And
Fair
that's
enough.
to me why fucking celebrate every fucking thing. Every fucking thing. And yes, everybody's flipping out about Martin Odegaard grabbing the camera and taking a photo. But you know what? That to me is our captain going, football is not 1 year. Football is not 4 years. Football is not 8 years of my career here, what I can do. Did I bring trophies? This guy, Stuart, the fucking photographer, has been here for 30 years. The dude needs a photo. That's me going, my club is bigger than your bullshit. Go grab the camera and take a fucking photo of him, because that was such a beautiful moment of people. Just people, where Martin Odegaard did not become a 25-year-old millionaire. He became a person who went, no, my friend, let me get a photo of you. Fucking beautiful moment. And if anybody wants to downplay that,
I'm not gonna make it that organic. It doesn't.
You saw it happen.
I did see it happen, but okay.
I
don't think it any more beautiful than the fact that I opened up my refrigerator and found milk.
Oh, then you have no heart, Mark. Simple as that. You have no milk and you have no heart.
Y'all know I don't have heart.
Or milk.
Anyway, can I please have a bio break, or you guys are just going to continue?
No, we're not doing bio break. We took a half hour off the Thank you, Stan. Thank you. Somebody actually, I feel like I'm talking to the walls over here. They just hate all of our celebrations. Right? I found it a very human moment. A very human moment where these millionaire kids that we base our lives watching, these millionaire children kicking a ball around, they took the guy who makes what, 80 grand a year at most. They took him and made him the spotlight, because that shows me my team of players knows that wearing the Arsenal kit, wearing the badge, isn't just about them kicking the ball around on the field. It's about who we are as people. It's about being the better person. So, great, Stan. Sorry, Tom, go ahead and tell me why I'm wrong.
I don't think you are wrong. What I find hypocritical about it, because what I find hypocritical about this is people often always say our footballers are out of touch. Like they're selfish, selfish individuals. They like I think Stan said it to me before, the show Succession, where they go from the high-rise building straight out to limo, and they don't actually know anything in the real world. But then you got a football player to a staff member, and they're making him feel part of the organisation, part of the group. I'm probably using the wrong words, and then people are like, "Oh, this is over celebrating and stuff." It's like, so fucking what? What's fucking wrong with taking a photo? A footballer's taking a photo of someone. He's taking a photo of him. It's just no one blinks twice because he takes the camera, takes a photo of him to make someone else that's not a footballer feel special. What the fuck?
No,
If
to me.
Marcus Rashford did it, it'd be, oh, look at him, he's amazing.
Oh, look at him, he loves the little people. No, and for me, what I saw was our captain finding a staff member and saying, and our staff member who makes his money in those moments, the 5 minutes after a match ends, is when he makes his money. Is those photos, and he even said, like, no, don't take my camera. No.
He's the staff photographer. This is not just his moment. No, he's following them everywhere. He's in the locker room. He's in the practice field. He's in the lunchroom. They know him.
They know him very well.
To me,
I know him,
where you all find it to be endearing. I don't necessarily, and when I say y'all, I mean Arsenal fans. And you know what? Yes, sure, fine. But wouldn't it have been, to me, it would have been endearing had he turned that camera onto the crowd and maybe found, the section of the handicap and taking their photos in their Arsenal
That's what
jerseys.
Stewart does. That's what the actual photographer does.
Does he? That to be certain?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, you don't.
Go on the website and look up his photos.
Oh,
he
God.
takes photos of everybody in the fucking crowd.
To do that.
Yeah, no, Mark, you want Odegaard to take his camera and do his job. No, he took it for 30 seconds. This is the 30 seconds that we're talking about.
How long did this actually take place over?
Who even knows?
A contentious part of this thing.
I think it was for like 3 weeks. They were celebrating.
Yeah, exactly.
They're still celebrating right now. They're only going to take a break to go and play West Ham.
And that's the thing.
We
are still fucking celebrating.
The Liverpool match.
It sounds like Mark thinks
countless non-alcoholic champagne in the locker room. They have yet to explode.
And we should be fucking celebrating.
Is this really something that's even worth? How did we get here? Is this even worth talking about? Because I don't.
Not really.
Well, because there's something to be said about what you guys have even said, which is, why is it always Arsenal over celebrating and never anybody else?
I'll answer that in a very quick nutshell. Yeah. And I do believe that it is because Arsenal is a top squad with viewership all around the world that are very excited to see this. And Peacock or USA or whoever's the broadcaster is finding that the most attractive thing to show. You think they want to show Luton Town winning the match? Yeah, maybe because it's Luton Town. But what about a mid-table team? What about Crystal Palace? If Crystal Palace put together a game and they beat their opponent 2-1 and they're all excited and celebrating, do you think they're going to show that celebration?
Clicks,
no, they're
Mark.
not.
That's what you're saying. Clicks.
They are going to cut to studio, and Rebecca Lowe is going to be like, and you've been watching Crystal Palace win their bet. But back to that Arsenal game. Wow!
And Mark,
look at them celebrate.
You're subtly making my point.
No.
Yeah, it's that every team celebrates, and Arsenal gets chastised.
Fair. Okay. Yeah, I proved
Right?
this point of
Right?
America. I did.
Right?
I guess
I
I
mean,
proved
right?
this point.
Jurgen Klopp runs
indirectly.
down the touchline excited, and everyone loves it. Arteta does it, and he's a prick. He is a prick. He's a massive prick.
But he
not for
does
that.
it way more.
Yes,
Like
Mark.
it drives me wild
Mark,
when a ball goes
that
out of
doesn't
bounds.
negate
He
the
runs
point.
to get it, and he brings it, and he's like,
that
"Here,
doesn't
take the
that doesn't
ball!"
negate the point. That doesn't negate the point that Tom just said. Arteta wins a game. He runs up and down the pitch. He's a prick. Klopp wins a game, runs up and down the pitch, on the pitch, does cartwheels, fucking breaks his tooth.
Never seen that.
He broke his leg or something in one of the celebrations.
That either.
Well,
Never
it's not
seen
my
that
fault
either.
that you haven't watched things, but I'm saying those things happen, and it's look at that Klopp's enthusiasm. Wouldn't you want a manager like that? And then Arteta runs up and down. Fuck, we're gonna actually beat Liverpool for the first time ever. And it's us over celebrating.
I don't think people realise it. The crux of it wasn't the. I don't feel it was over celebrating. I think it was the. I'd have been more. I'll put it another way. I would have been more worried had you all just calmly walked off the pitch. I'd have been like, that doesn't show hunger. That doesn't show happiness, joy, relief. Because the reality is, despite people saying you won a big game, the reality is you won a game where if you hadn't won the game, you would have been considered to have been out of the title race.
Season over, yeah. Season over.
And I've seen people say, like, I think Stan said it on the Arsenal fan circle, like it was relief, as in getting over the line, and that's basically it. You can feel two things at once. Like you could be happy and like, oh thank fuck, I'm not getting crucified this week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, the problem is the people who were saying this is essentially a cup final for Arsenal. They need to win or else their season's over. So if we lose, our season's over. If we win, it's not, and we're actually still in it. Why is that not something to celebrate? If we lost, it would be something to bemoan. So winning, and I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back and double down on what
talking point. And if you ever thought that you were gonna be out of the possibility of winning the league if you didn't beat Liverpool, you're sadly mistaken.
Oh no!
If
Liverpool beat us, we're 8 points behind.
The top 4 to top 5 are ridiculously inconsistent this season.
Yeah,
not for top 4 though, Mark. Not for top 4. Clickbait of media saying, "I know exactly what you're talking about.
What
I know you are talking about the league." You know,
Mark, no.
Title.
If we lost to Liverpool, the league is out of hand.
It would have not been at all.
Absolutely.
Because no.
How many matches have Liverpool lost this season? 1.
It doesn't matter.
Legitimately.
They've also. How many have they drawn?
Doesn't matter.
How many have they drawn? What you know?
How many did the Invincibles draw? We don't care. We don't care.
That was 20
But how many
years
did
ago,
they lose?
30 years ago.
0.
50 years
Doesn't
ago.
matter.
Nobody even knows.
Doesn't matter.
No, all I'm saying is what am I saying? I don't even know anymore.
I don't know.
We told John we weren't even talking about Arsenal. Apparently, we were saving it up for the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we need to talk because it's a huge win. And guys, did you watch the match? Did you actually watch the match?
It was one of the sloppiest matches I've ever seen.
Oh, Mark.
And it was sloppy. Mark, Tom, did you watch the match?
You're just being hateful now.
I've seen the highlights of it since. I found the goalkeeping fascinating. I found the defending but basically put another way, the defending for Liverpool's equaliser. It was almost like everyone was trying to take the heat off of Raya by basically wanting to be the one that actually made the fuck up.
And who didn't move? And Raya didn't move. He didn't move.
But then Allison down the other end was like, "No, I want to be the worst goalkeeper on the pitch today." So then
Allison and Van Dijk said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was a fascinating afternoon. It seems of forcing and capitalizing on mistakes.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I just have to say that I think we have a new candidate for comment of the night, and I think I'm just gonna go ahead and declare it because we're coming down to the end of the show. Declare it. Pincushion, you win comment of the night because you used the word Schadenfreude, but not only did you use Schadenfreude, you described inverted Schadenfreude, and then you described it correctly, which was just testing people's good fortune. Schadenfreude, of course, is finding joy in people's pain. So inverted Schadenfreude, that's like a Klopp thing, I guess, with the Gegenpressen and the inverted Schadenfreude.
He's born with an inverted Schadenfreude.
I was born with an inverted Schadenfreude, but I worked it out. I love that pincushion.
It's also known as a schling.
I love inverted Schadenfreude. You are absolutely right, and that is what it is. I'm going to steal that, Ian. I'm just telling you now. I love that, and I'm going to use it. It's too clever for most people, and
yeah, but I could say the same thing in 6 letters. Bitter.
How?
Bitter. That's what he's describing.
Bitter? Oh, I thought you were speaking German.
Oh no, like I can't speak German.
Bitter. Uns bitter?
Mo Master, if you're still out there, I will be watching my first La Liga match tomorrow. I'm going to watch Real Madrid and Girona at 12.
You're not going to watch Leverkusen, Bayern, Munich? We're going to watch them both. Come over to my place.
It is going to be warm out.
We'll put them both up.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a big ask. But it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good.
There are 2 massive matches tomorrow at noon our time. I don't know what time that is for you. Noon Eastern time. I don't know why they decided to play them at the same time, but Bayern Munich are playing Bayern Leverkusen, and Real Madrid are playing Manchester Girona City.
Oh, that's right. They do own.
They do own them.
Girona.
So Girona can't actually win and go to the Champions League because then they have to decide which team they want to actually play in the competition because they can't have 2.
Yeah, but
that's not true.
Yeah.
No, fuck off.
It is a rule.
It is a rule.
But
it is a rule.
They don't seem to ever enforce it because both Red Bull teams are in the Champions League.
Yeah, exactly.
But that might be minority ownership type shit.
The city's ownership it's Pep's brother, and it's only like 19%. Oh my god, I can't believe I know that.
Mark,
help me.
Mark, I hate to tell you, but I'm eventually gonna have to find a new co-host who doesn't know as much about football. That makes me look better because you know too much.
Well, see, folks, here's what actually happens on the stoop with Lolo, is that he comes up with ideas, and I'm like, yeah, man, that's awesome. And he's like, what do you got? And I'm like, I got this. He's like, can you talk about that? I'm like, well, I know this much. And he's like, research it. Go ahead and look into it. Tell me about how Schalke for Leverkusen it could win the Bundesliga Man of the Year, and wouldn't it be cool if a former Arsenal player didn't get a trophy for a former Tottenham player?
That would be awesome. That would be amazing. But Mark, you didn't finish that.
Harry Kane.
You didn't finish that. Mark says something. Lolo says you need to research this and talk about it. Mark goes and researches it and talks about it. and then we get on the show and we don't talk about it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But no, those are huge games, and I love that you actually researched that. That is brilliant. That Xhaka could be the one to keep Harry Kane from getting his first fucking trophy with Bayern Munich, who get all the trophies. Brilliant, Mark.
And the crazy thing here is just like, I mean, both leagues have incredible storylines, and it boggles my mind. You know, it's like Girona is like what, 2-3 years ago they weren't even in the top league. Bayern has won the league like what, the last 9 times, and
like
and here's like
or something.
Leverkusen is the equivalent to Tottenham.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd say that.
It's been so long since Leverkusen has won anything. They're known as Neverkusen.
Yep.
Which is like far worse than being Spursy in my mind. Because you can eventually not be Spursy, but if you're never something, you're never gonna be it. And if they should happen to beat Munich on tomorrow, there's like a really good chance that they're, barring like a complete and utter collapse, they're gonna win the league.
In 2002.
What?
It's genuinely true. In 2002, they were top of the league going into the final day. They were in the Champions League final and the German Cup final. They lost the league on the final day. They only needed to win. They lost the German Cup final. They lost the Champions League final. This is why they're Neverkusen. And then all their best players got sold to Bayern Munich in the summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
know, and it's just like both games are just going to be incredible, and it certainly beats the Premier League 12:30 game, which I guess is 4:30 your time, which I think is Newcastle and Forest at Forest. I don't know. I'm not much of a believer in Forest right now.
Let me find out.
But you never know.
Yeah, they did. Ballack was their best player, and then Bayern Munich bought Ballack. Oh, and they also had football manager legend Z Roberto.
Right.
Z Roberto, who was on our show? No, wasn't he? Wasn't he on one of our Brazil videos?
That's Dent.
You know, do you guys think that if Leverkusen wins the Bundesliga,
one, but we had
that Hobby goes to Liverpool?
Shabby,
Hobby, ex-Hobby, whatever you want to call it. I don't even give two shits. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean by asking this question?
Because I know who the manager is.
You know what I mean. So just answer it. Do you?
Everybody wants Xabi to go to Liverpool. I think he should 1,000,000% stay put for one more season.
If he wins it all, if he wins the league, he should stay because he'll be in the.
Because you got to do it again. Because having a Cinderella season is awesome, but it doesn't prove you as a manager. It proves you as a manager who can do that. For a winner, for a serial winner, you need to be in the thick of it, and I need to see what you do after your Cinderella season.
That's Tom. Right. He's exactly right. Oh, sorry, Lolo's exactly right. Because if Liverpool hire him off the back of, in my opinion, they're still going to finish second by Munich.
Yeah.
Because they're not just infrastructurally. They haven't. Yeah. It's going to get. It only takes one result to overturn it for a start, and that could happen tomorrow. Whether that does or doesn't, that's not for me to say. But keep in mind, Chelsea signed him from Bayern. Come on now, my master. Anyway, where was I? forgot what it was. No.
Signing a
season.
coach after he does a Cinderella
Yeah.
season.
Oh yeah, you know that was. You know you can name that. That was who did Chelsea sack last year? What's his name?
Tuchel.
Potter
Power.
had a good season or two, like let's say 2 with Brighton. Chelsea bought him in, didn't even last the season. If he doesn't say Liverpool got him in the summer and he didn't hit the ground running, he'd be out of a job by May, and his stock would be much lower, and he'd be sitting there going, "Well, I shouldn't have left where I already was."
Mm.
Except somebody told
Potter.
You don't think
Potter.
he gets a little bit of credit in heaven in Liverpool?
They would have to trust that their future. He doesn't have enough. He doesn't have enough credit in the bank. To me, go have a Cinderella story, and then show me another season of how you do then. Because that second season, look at Xavi with a V, Xavi at Barcelona. They won the league last season, and he wasn't the best coach. He wasn't incredible. This season, he's already said, "I'm leaving. I'm leaving at the end of the season."
Right.
Because
it's not exactly a what have you done for me lately sport. I mean, it's literally what have you done for me yesterday.
Yeah, but I think in this particular thing, it's more of your first season. You come in and you do incredible things. Awesome. Let's see what you do next season when the hype has died down. It's like the new manager bounced.
But hold on. You know, it's like, I mean, you look like Xabi, Exaby, whatever his name is, however you pronounce it. He's only been with the squad for, 2 years?
Now I have to ask you who you're talking about. Xabi or Xabi Alonso?
Leverkusen.
Xabi Alonso.
I think it's
Leverkusen. So it's like his first or second season.
Second season, yeah.
Right? Now, if you look at what Leverkusen has done
it's not
over the last 7 years, they've kind of floated in that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I think you had it right calling them Tottenham.
There's obviously
you had it right
a
calling
hump.
them Tottenham, yeah.
There's obviously a hump that they can't get over. They're a talented football club. They obviously recruit very well. This guy comes in, and last year they're second, and this year they're vying for first. I believe they were second.
They're vying for an invincible.
Last year, Dortmund,
by the way.
Was last year decided on goal differential? Or was that the year before?
They were top 4 either way. So
last year Dortmund finished second because they lost on the final day, and I think Bayern won, didn't they?
I'm not really sure, but I want to say within recent memory that there was a Bundesliga title that was decided on goal differential. If not last year, it was the year before.
Okay.
Regardless. But if you're a team that can't get over a hump, you bring in a new manager, and in 2 years he gets you over that hump. Doesn't that do something for that CV, so to speak? That points out. It's just like, you know what?
Absolutely.
Maybe I have nothing else to prove here.
Absolutely.
I you set me a goal. You said win me the league, and I did. Absolutely. The only thing it does is it takes away from being in the championship. In the Champions League. But I mean, if I go to Liverpool, I'm already going to be in the Champions League.
They already had more points than they got last season.
Yeah.
And Mark was right. Last season did actually end on goal difference.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Dortmund and
so Mark,
because Dortmund lost on the final day.
Yeah, they lost on the final day. Mark, my only thing is, yes, you've proved a lot by doing that, but to me, I need to see you in the mud as well. To know that you're to make a big money switch from Leverkusen to Liverpool, like I need to see you when the shit isn't good. Like right now, things have been good. You walked in and you implemented your thing, and you've used the players that you have, and you guys have done this like Mighty Ducks type fucking thing. But I need to see you when you get money, and now things are cool. Here's money. Here's players. Here's this. Let me see how you do with that. Because as much as we want to talk shit about the likes of Pep Guardiola always having the best players in the world, to me, you still have to manage them. You still have to be the best manager in the world. And it is almost easy. It is not easier, but it is almost easier to come up with a bunch of nobodies. Not nobodies, but you know what I mean. Come up with a bunch of ragtag crew and have a Cinderella type story. That is almost easier than being expected to win and doing it week in and week out. You know what I mean?
Fair. I just feel that it is quite possible that he's already proven himself. You know, I mean, it certainly wasn't.
He's proven himself.
You know,
he's proven himself.
It certainly
there.
wasn't
Yes.
like
Now
in
I'm
the B
yourself
league
here.
of Real Sociedad, but
yeah,
I know that.
Either way, guys,
Weird.
it's been a great time. We're gonna end the show. It is 9:00. I've got places to go.
He has nowhere to go. He just needs to take a poop.
No, I'm going out, drinking, playing pool. All right, guys. Well, Mr. Tom, it's been great talking to you. Spawny Mark, my friend, been very good talking to you, and everybody in the chat been very nice talking to you. We're gonna go ahead and head out from here, but we will see you back next Friday for happy hour. I hope all of your teams lose except for Mark and Tom and me. Peace out, y'all.